Avant is a team that can really put you on toast in the first 15 minutes of the game. They've done it to Order 3 times this season already.
And so I was going to ask that, you know, heading into this, down 2 games, it's best of 5. This is match point for AV. Do you play it safe, or do you go out and swing for the fences?
Absolutely not. This is a young team, and, you know, I'll say more about it after the game as well. This is a team that is young and had no expectations. They're being led by one veteran in Chippies, and Sybil is playing like half the game time at the moment. I think that you, as a young team, can afford to go out and get the best experience out of this game possible. Avant, in my eyes, are never going to win games slow and controlled.
Just like grinding
it
out.
Just jump on people, look for your plays, unlock Aladoric around the map, maybe give him something. Like, I think Order's banning Thresh. Like, maybe give him something like a Pike. He plays it a lot in solo queue. You know, make something happen on Summoner's Rift. And, like, that's why people love Avant. That's why I enjoy watching Avant, because they're the most exciting team in the league. And I want them to go out playing exciting League of Legends. I'd be really disappointed if they say we're going to scale and try and out-team fight Order, because Mammoth couldn't do it yesterday. And in my head, Avant aren't as good as team fighting as Mammoth, but they finished higher on the ladder than them because they play really electric League of Legends.
And like you said, that they're one of the best teams at changing that up, and, you know, have the potential to blow
and they've
Order
still
out
got
of the water
curveballs.
if they do.
Like, absolutely, they still have curveballs. We haven't seen Chippies on a Vladimir option right now. You don't have to play towards that. We haven't seen the Tristana. We haven't seen, like, the Urgot mid coming out of shock. Like, there's lots of things this team can still do. So I'm really excited to see what their, like, potential final punch is. I still think this series has more in it.
Well, I can tell you that they have picked red side, and that they are not taking any subs. So we are going to see Swaith in again for this game.
Yep, and I think that makes a lot of sense. I think, you know, Swaith on red side has slightly harder gank paths onto top lane turret. However, if he can get Shock the same control over mid lane, that's a really easy 3-man roam into blue buff, into top lane turret, into cutting off that kind of lifeline that Order has been setting up in Tally, because he's played Scion, was unkillable. Then he played Kayle, made Dream unkillable and killed everyone himself. So I think, like, they have to keep attacking Tally. Like, if I'm an other coach and I'm looking at it, and, you know, for anyone that's playing Order, like, I think Tally right now is the best performing member on Order, even though the bottom lane is performing very well. I would be trying to take him out of the game early.
All right, well, it is do or die for AV right now. Do we have one more game ahead of us? Do we have 3 more games ahead of us? There's only one way to find out. We're thrown over to the desk for the McDonald's Champ Select with Ejim and Pyro.
Thank you very much, Nick Boy, and I cannot wait to see what happens here. We already heard about it. Avant, they picked the red side this time. They will be making no changes in the lineup, which means Swaith is still in there. Now, I wonder, do they maybe mix up what they want to pick for him, though? Because that Evelyn pick was good in the early game. It had a lot of good setups, a lot of good picks across the map.
Yeah, I think I kind of expected coming into this game that, like, they have side selection. They would want red side again, but this time they have Swaith, right? I feel like they did really come into this, like, let's play Sybil. Let's see, like, the Order killer at work. Let's see what we can do, and they glean from that, and then they put in Swaith, and that's what we're seeing here now. He does bring something different to the team, but yeah, we kind of hit on it. Like, there just needs to be, like, I like that game plan versus Order. Like the Jake has been saying, I like what they did last game. The Eve Olaf, like, looking at social media in between the sets, Swipe is like picking Kayle into like Olaf Eve is either the most int or most Chad thing I've ever seen in my life. And like results-based analysis.
Why are those two so close together all the time?
A Chad,
it's either inting or Chad.
No, that's my point. Yeah, like those are the extremes. And look, it worked out for them, but I like what they went in and did. Like, they have been having these good early games. It is about doubling down. It is about, like, transitioning this, forcing it a little bit further, and just continue playing AV style of League of Legends.
Absolutely. Well, AV will need to find an answer, though, to not get 3-0'd in this series. Order back on the blue side. Go back to those same old bans. It is Thresh, Lucian. Ryze gets taken away, though, here by AV, along with the Sylas.
Yeah, no, this is different already, because it's not going to be the red side Lucian ban, so do they have the opportunity to ban away the Kayle? I feel like potentially they do.
Yeah, Order seem to ban Lucian a lot on blue side.
Yeah,
enough.
And it is kind of curious as to why, because they are, I believe, like, a team that has counter picks in the bottom lane for that one. So, oh, actually,
Syndra banned out. I mean, I think they just want to get the bird combo again. Let's see if this is another Rakan ban out by Avant.
Could be the Xayah. It is the one that they chose to ban away, like splitting it up, and they prefer, there it is. They prefer to be able to play their own Rakan into a Braum, because it seems like as soon as Xayah Rakan is off the table, Order prefer to go towards the Braum, and they're happy to play whatever with it, which means that banning the Xayah does allow AV to have the Rakan, whereas banning Rakan, they just take it away from themselves. So this is somewhat of a expected outcome in this regard. I feel like the Syndra
was left up.
Yeah, Syndra is the biggest interesting point, that Order are the ones that picked that, and Zilean was the answer. It did look good for them, but Yeah, they're going to bend it away from themselves, and that is just a straight first pick Morgana.
Yeah, that is all about Jake right now, so we'll see what he's able to do. We know he loves Enchanter supports when he gets a chance to play them, and it's been banned away from him all series long, so now Order get a chance to take it for a test drive. Let's see what Avant's answer is. Is it just the simple, straight-up, clean Ezreal Braum?
I really hope not. I hope it isn't just like a tank matchup that is super standard. They can go towards something like the Nami, go towards like a different mage. Aladoric, I feel like, has a fairly deep champion pool. You know, you see him running around solo queue. We don't have access to what he plays in scrims, but Jake said it on the couch. The Pyke is there. I feel like this probably isn't the matchup for the Pyke, but he has stuff that he can play. I want him to play something that isn't Braum or Tarn.
Oh, he does rock it.
Okay.
All right, so
that's
this
a confidence move.
Is interesting here for Aladoric now. The Pyke comes out, solo queue hero at work.
This is already a spicy game, and I absolutely love where AV have gone. Because like our criticism was like, just play even more AV League of Legends. This is exactly that.
This is more AV. This is more AV than can be believed, I suppose.
Yeah, they have shown like literally nothing at this point in the draft, and then that like Pyke comes through. There's
going to be a really cool game of chicken now between the Pyke and the Morgana, where he threatens the Bone Skewer, and then Morgana's just like, nope, Black Shield. I didn't do it.
Yeah, it's fairly interesting because Morg can go like Inspiration. You have the stopwatch. You can build the Zhonyas to deny like the one hit that Pyke really offers as a champion. He is linked up with the Ezreal, and we've seen Aladoric open up the map a huge amount this series, whether it was on the Rakan, whether it was on the Alistar. He wants to leave lane and probably never come back. What better champion to pair with that sort of style than an Ezreal? And
a Yorick comes in for chippies. Now, we also had to talk about the fact that the Zoe is picked up by Swiffer once more, but yeah, how about this Yorick pickup into the Scion?
I feel like this bodes well for AV. Like, Chippies likes this sort of matchup, and I do really like Order's blinding of the Zoe. They've banned Vysindra. Ryze was banned away by AV themselves, and it kind of dissuades the ability to pick lists. You look at the composition AV have already locked in the first two, Ezreal, Pyke. You need some lockdown to be able to play this sort of stuff. They're not offering the CC, they're not offering the setup, and then if you blind pick the Zoe, we've already had a taste of what that matchup can go like, and it is very rough for Lissandra to be able to force plays and look for things, so makes sense to go for that one. Tally is just on Scion duty once again. Chippies finds his answer, but that's an Eve ban.
Yes, it is. They clearly don't want to have to play off against it again. A couple of AD carries banned away, Vayne and Space Vayne, so we'll have to see a switch up. I feel like Guncrab's going to be perfectly fine with this because he'll be happy to just go into the hyper carry mode with either the Jinx or the Tristana.
Yeah, I feel like there are actually a ton of AD carry bans this way. He's obviously, Guncrab has his hands on the Ezreal, but Lucian banned by Order. Xayah already gone, hit with the Kai'Sa and the Vayne.
And that was a Kha'Zix ban for Swathe as always.
Tristana is still something that's up and available. Like,
is it blindable? Oh, well, I mean, Guncrab's already got an AD carry, right?
So like, I feel like you have options that are fine. You could go for something. I feel like Legacy played Kalista Morgana. That is a doable matchup. It could be fairly risky into something like a Pyke. I feel like Kalista would be a bold statement.
Ooh, speaking of bold statements, Camille comes through.
Okay.
Now, this will be a jungle pick.
Will it? Or is this a Yorick,
Yorick
mid into
you
Zoe?
think? Is Shock that much of a madman?
We've seen Yorick mid buy Shock into Ryze. Does he play it into Zoe? Is this Swathe just doubling down on early game, going back to the Camille? Because she is kind of just a worse version of what she is. But she still has those huge spikes. Her level 2, her early game kill potential is like just monumental. Like, she can get on people you cannot expect, and she can double down in that regard even further. Sivir could be a fairly reasonable lock-in.
This would be a solid run at you comp, and Order definitely thinking about it. They will lock the Sivir for Dream.
And this is like stylistically exactly what you expected with this matchup. Okay, Talia jungle. That's a Yorick mid.
Okay.
Camille top.
This is a very Avant lineup.
Yes, it is. Pyke in the bottom lane, Camille for chippies into a Scion, and sure, he's absolutely loving that matchup, and Yorick into Zoe. This is not something you expect. This is classic Order. They've got, like, they look at the comp that AV put together and they're like, yes, let's have 5 members on the screen. We have so much safety. Black Shield, Spell Shield of the Sivir. Their bottom lane should be arguably untouchable. Their top side is hugely tanky, and AV are just like, give us carries everywhere. Let's play chaotic. Let's look for skirmishes. Let's win these fights and snowball out this game. This is...
What else can you throw down the gauntlet? But in the McDonald's Gauntlet series, Avant Gaming are up against the wall here, 0-2. They need a win to progress.
Yep.
Off to face up against Chiefs tomorrow. Order, keen to push it through. Will they be able to do it and start their run of the Gauntlet? This would be a huge story for them. Best performance that Order will have put in. Perennial 4th place team looking to upset the apple cart here. in Game 3. Already match point. And it feels like it's order versus disorder.
Yeah, somewhat. This is AV throwing the kitchen sink. I feel like this is as deep as they can go into like their pool of let's play some whack stuff and see what we can do. Irrelevant, like if you look at these two compositions, and like, yeah, it's kind of irrelevant now to say, oh, if AV lose this game, like they're out. Like, of course, right? That's a 3-0 to order and they win, GG, moving on. But take away the scoreline. If you have this sort of comp where AV have gone like this deep into the pocket, I don't think like, if this is game 1 of the series and they throw out this, like this is a rough one to rebound from, you know what I mean? Like this is either going to go one of two ways very quickly. And it could be interesting to see how it pans out.
You know, Avant's lineup does have like all these crazy pickups and things that the players are all known for, but I'm a little disappointed that they take like the most standard AD carry for Gunkrab when he's known for like this Jinx Tristana play. I know it was early in the draft, but just like I would have loved to see like 5 out of 5 just nutball champions.
You kind of love to see it, but it's kind of completely expected here.
It's good. It's smart. I just like
this is just kind of funny.
Speaking of crazy, we've got ourselves some shenanigans.
Are walking onto the other side of the map looking for the pick. Look at AV. They're about to walk into the top bush and hopefully find a Scion that isn't there because he's walking into the bottom bush trying to find a bottom lane.
Who's baiting who?
What is going on?
Oh boy.
Spooks is in enemy territory, actually behind AV.
The only one in their lane is Shock right now.
Yep. As AV are actually going to get themselves some deep wards here, which bodes well for them. Spooks, if he face checks topside, could be
Avant are committing to this.
in for a bit of a roughie. He is going to go for it, as is Tally.
Ooh, he's going to start red buff. Tally's in trouble, though.
They see Tally. Do they loop around? The level 1 CC isn't great. Pyke has the skewer.
They can probably burn a flash out of this, though. Chippies hops this wall. Yep, there they go.
Okay. And this isn't a jungle Camille, so starting hookshot isn't the worst thing in the world. It doesn't completely boom your day. Get themselves a flash, and that's going to be an Ezreal Gunkrab TPing back to lane so that he can not fall super behind in XP. Alidoric's actually going to tax his mid laner as well in regards to XP. So level 2, despite the fact that Yorick is pushing in, should probably go the hands of Swiffer.
A bit of an interesting start there. Alidoric will be joining Gunkrab shortly. But it's the first push start by Dream. And I feel like if you have a Sivir on your team, you're probably going to have lane prio most of the time anyways.
Most of the time, especially given that Pyke has only now got to lane. So the bottom lane of order started there. It's a 2 versus 1. There's no way the Ezreal is going to contest priority to himself. So the level 1 shenanigans on either side of the coin is just going to result in some vertical jungling.
Yeah, commence the vertical jungle.
Yep.
Spooks managing to get a little bit of help from the pushed out lane of Dream and Jake to secure blue buff. It had already been taken by Swayth on the opposite side. So, Talia jungle, been banned a number of times up against this Avant lineup especially. Where do you want to see her go first?
I feel like it's attacking the Urgot. Him in the early game, like, if he cannot land flip on you, then there's no way he is able to contest you. She is one of those champions that if she gets to keep her distance, then she's just sitting there dishing out tons of damage. She's just throwing under the rock, and Spooks is going to have a miserable time. So the fact that this has gone into a map split scenario, I feel like actually bodes well for Order, given that they're locking down a Pyke underneath his turret. He cannot look for trades. He cannot look for fights on his side of the map, just because of the fact that Talia's topside and Spooks is down here. If he trades, he dies first, and he will get punished. Whereas on the other side of the map, Tally, flashless level 1, yes, that sucks. He is probably going to be playing the negative matchup anyway, right? Like, he's just going to be sitting here farming up underneath his turret as best as possible, doing Scion things, and this is the expected trajectory for his lane, irrelevant of what the junglers are doing. So locking down this Pyke super early. Sivir is one of those champions that once she gets priority, can maintain it for a very long time. It's hard to get it back. If you can get it against her, you can hold it, but...
Yeah, but Sivir is one of these perma pushers,
Yeah.
right? I mean, look at this.
That's
They've
a plate.
already got a tower plate.
That's 3 minutes and 20 seconds. That's a plate.
That is actually insane. All right, well, Dream is having a fantastic time, and throughout this whole gauntlet, he has been looking so good for such a young player with no prior playoff experience. Really big credit to him, and you know, he already showed it up against King yesterday, a very well-established AD carry with the duo of Destiny as well, and now he's doing it up against Gunkrab Alidoric.
Yeah.
I mean, if Order make it through and take this game here, and then they go up against Chiefs on the back of a 3-0, I mean, Raze is looking really stellar.
Yes, he is.
But
He's
Dream
looking
is on
very
another
good.
level than his regular split performance.
On another level than his regular split performance. Quinny K, he's just looked like he's on another level.
I mean, he might be the final raid boss of the bot lane.
100%. You know what I mean? Bombers are in the final. FBI is incredibly good, but I think form-wise, like, Raze has looked just that touch a little bit better here. So Could be the case, but we're talking hypotheticals.
Yeah,
we are
still a lot of
talking
late
about the
play.
future. This is 4 minutes into this game. There's a lot of chaos that could erupt. The mid lane, we haven't even touched on yet. This is a Yorick versus a Zoe.
Yeah, and it feels like Swiffer's definitely getting the better of this right now.
Yeah.
Shock already found himself a little deep. So, yeah, talk me through this matchup. It's not one I'm particularly familiar with.
Yeah, it's not one I'm particularly familiar with as well, you know what I mean? Yorick into the Zoe sounds like a little bit of a roughie. He did miss his sand there, so his ghouls are hitting minions and doing absolutely nothing. This is, I think, one of those situations where they've picked the Yorick into immobile mages. First of all, it was into the Ryze. Ryze banned away, but now they've done it into the Zoe, so he wants to weather the storm at the early levels as best as possible, and he has done that. He has TP to no TP, so he's gone back, he's bought himself a Sapphire Crystal, he's got himself the boots to be able to dodge around those bindings and
Playing
stuff.
the mid
but
lane
this
right
hurts.
now. Shock, he's caught in his own pit. That's first blood to Swiffer. Great gank by Spooks.
Yeah, because as soon as he falls behind, I feel like his pressure becomes almost minimal at best. You know, he wants to be pushing out this wave. When he gets that ulti, he drops the ghoul and shoves in the wave and is threatening Swiffer. You know what I mean? Is forcing him to be dodging around from the ring. If he ever gets trapped in, then there's kill pressure there. But that's just a very timely gank. Spooks has done a very good job this game of being Urgot and avoiding finding the Talia at all.
Oh, yeah.
Swathe has the upper hand in this matchup in the super early levels and hasn't been able to leverage that. A lot of it is to do with the fact that the level 1, the map split, is kind of an uninteractive jungle style. And as I mentioned, bottom lane is tracking well. They had TP advantage, so this is a 10 CS lead for the Sivir. This is probably going to be another plate, and Chippies is in a good matchup.
Yeah,
15 CS lead, but it's about what he can do with it.
That is true. We're going to need to see some teleport plays. The Flash, of course, is just about to come back online for Tally. There is a TP advantage for Chippies with the level 6. And, you know, maybe he does want to come down to the bot because Dream just keeps shoving this lane in constantly. They need deep wards to make it happen. Maybe they need to bring in Swathe because he's been a little quiet, as you mentioned, with the vertical jungling kind of stymieing his gank strategy.
I somewhat agree with you, right? Like, they need to get a play down here on the bottom side of the map and bring down Chippies. He's done enough to get himself this CS lead, and he also has had TP priority for a significant portion of time. That chunk is enormous.
It's just real right now. Ooh, Dream playing with a little bit of fire, but he does have a spell shield. That's the other thing about Sivir. If she holds her nerve and you don't hit that E button right away at the first sign of danger, it's really hard to get her locked down. There's also a black shield to contend with.
Bind lands, round number 2, and he's able to set that one up. Because I was going to say, it's a Mountain Dragon to spawn this game once again.
Good hook.
That is
take some damage.
Good side of the map to take fights on. If they can bring Chippies down once he gets a recall, he's still just sitting on his corrupting pot. You can see he's got 2 Bickies as well. So
meanwhile, Swiffer this time, the ghouls are caught in. The Maiden of the Mist is going to be chasing Swiffer away.
Yep. What did you call the ghoul one time? I feel like you said it on cast. And
it's a school friend.
Yeah.
School friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now that I hear that the second time, I'm slightly underwhelmed. I don't know what it was about the delivery,
Look,
but
it's
I was
all about
very
comedic
impressed.
timing. One thing I'm learning doing all this OPL content, man, you've got to hit the right timing. I can't just bring it up out of nowhere.
Yeah, sorry
So
about
I don't get to use it the rest of this game now. Thanks, man.
That's a
Is that your plan all along?
Speaking of bad luck, Jake just got the blue buff. I feel like Spooks probably would have liked that one.
Yeah.
It means Morgana just gets to sit here and start flinging spells.
I mean, you can just
he
chuck
just
him
bound
out.
a creep to push in the wave faster because he doesn't care about mana anymore.
I mean, look at this. They're going to take like all the plates before like 10 minutes are elapsed on the clock because it's free push. There's a good range advantage for Dream, and like they're threatening these bindings constantly. There's another one taken down, and this is adding all the lever.
Very nice.
They get the flip back there. Dream did take a lot of damage off this. There's the heal forced out as the Ignite was there. He will get away, though.
And we've been taking a look at the bottom side of the map a great deal. This CS lead has gone from 40 CS to 30 to almost double in the last 2 minutes of this game. That's a float over from the Yorick, a Talia in behind Sion. Tally had to wait deep behind his turret and use his ulti to get away from that play. And he's getting further and further in a hole, and he's also had a shop. This was a buyless Camille doing so much work on the top side of the map. Chippies is a Camille Goblin and has been for years. He's played this on the Direwolves, he's played it on Mammoth, and now he's playing it on AV. This is a Chippies champion through and through, and it's not something he's got a kill with yet. He's got a singular plate, but this is something that tracking on further onto this game is certainly very rough as it progresses.
We've talked of the bottom lane of Order and their ability to just shove it in and push hard, but yeah, on the opposite side, Chippies has done the absolute same thing. He's got 2 pieces of his Trinity Force complete.
I feel like he's almost done the opposite in a sense that he's kept the wave on his side because he doesn't win this lane with priority.
But he's winning, I guess,
He
is what I'm really
wins
getting
this
at.
lane with kill threat. Tally just has to sit there and do the sad Scion blind thing of watching your turret just, like, watching your minions just completely die in front of your eyes. That flick was in literal Narnia. But Chippies has just held the wave outside of his turret, and Tally just has to sit there and watch his creeps die. Because without spooks, he cannot contest the wave. They crash that huge wave in, they die it. No, they dive it rather, and then there's a 40 CS lead out of almost nowhere.
Right, so I need to know something.
Yep.
If that was literal Narnia, where's figurative Narnia?
Through the wardrobe.
Ah.
I actually...
So that's the real Narnia is in that mid lane, just off center.
Yeah, that's,
okay.
that's the thing.
Good to know.
Yep.
But the gold lead definitely isn't huge because it's been compensated on either side. Like, Chippies does have the big edge over Tally. Dream has an edge over Gunkrab. Of course, Gunkrab's cutting that down, right? I mean, he's got the Kleptomancy, as all Ezreal's will, and some slice stacks of gold have been falling into his pocket. So that's 300 is the only difference. Cheat
the system somewhat, you know what I mean? That is that lead is less than 3 plates is worth, plus the CS lead, so has done well to keep up. It's also first blood in the mid lane onto Shock, means that Swiffer has about a 500 gold lead here, and Spook's trying to get him a wave out, be able to push this one in and look to float down towards the bottom side. I think they're looking to crack this turret and could be soon.
Yeah, that's going to be taken down. And meanwhile, up towards the top, looks like we're in for a dive situation.
Here we go.
Swathe is moving in onto Tally. There's the stun. He flashes away from the shove, and he's in a bit of trouble, but so is Chippies there.
Dead.
He's taken down by the tower. How about that? Tally on the outplay.
And that is a disastrous state of affairs for AV. They lose on their strong side of the map, and now they're getting punished even more.
Order hit the go button on the hunt. There were chains flying from left and right, but Spooks gets the kill. This is going to be a first brick to Order.
Chains flying from figuratively Narnia, throws it from the Gromp pit, picks up and execute, and Order just across the map. They win everywhere. Wait, Shock died.
Yeah.
Where did Shock die?
We're going to have to get a replay because that was all happening off screen. It's 4-0 and kills all of a sudden in Order on the lead.
Swiffer, no flash, no ignite. That must have just been a straight up solo. Nobody was in the mid lane. Now that's a 0-2 Yorick. This is a very rough lane phase for AV
Avant
fans.
are 2 games down. And the game has started to get out of hand for them very quickly. With such a big gold lead ballooning, I want to see that replay of the mid lane and see what happened. But meanwhile, Spooks is able to pick up a dragon. This is going to make the sieging even easier for Order.
I mean, to speculate, like maybe it's desperation. They make that play on the top side, and Tally outplays the dive 2 versus 1. Despite the fact that Chippies has the ability to dodge, he lands the headbutt, and then all calls are off. And AV, like Shock, looks at the state of the map. He's like, my bottom lane is getting dove. I cannot be there. My top lane dive is failing, and just looks for the 1-for-1. They will be able to find a pick onto Swiffer, which is a nice little shutdown. I say shutdown, it's like 150 gold.
I mean, it's
they
still
show that
pretty
on the
decent.
scoreboard now.
Big investment, but they did manage to make it happen. Meanwhile, though, it looks like there's another dive being set up towards the top side from the dual lane. While the Rift Herald is getting started, Jake and Dream don't know this.
Because even though the dive failed, Chippy still has a 40 CS lead. He's working on his Trinity Force and will be a monster in the side lane. If this Rift Herald does actually get taken down, if Order can't contest this one, and you can go drop that in Chippy's lane, get him a couple more plates before we track into mid-game, then that could be a very good situation. But Order, they forced off Gunkrab, and they're looking to force off the Rift Herald too.
Oh, there we go. On the hunt is popped, and Rift is going to reset. In fact, they've actually just leashed it over here. If they can keep the aggro on, this is going to go the way of Order. And it looks like, I think it actually might have been secured by AV. No, Order grab it.
And this is just looking like desperate League of Legends. They're looking for things. They have to find a way back into their game, and this is just going to be immediately popped. It's before 14 minutes. We're going to see the solo play once more. The bubble lands.
Oh, that's the setup.
Ooh, that's a very nice little paddle star around the wave. I like that one.
Oh, flash ignite.
Electrocute damage.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that was the pocket sand to try and make something happen, but knew he was dead. The ignite ticks down, and that's just a straight up solo kill in what, I don't know, is this a counter matchup? Yorick into Zoe, Shock sure thinks
it's kind of hard to tell, right?
Like they picked this one. It was an intentional choice, but unfortunately the matchup looks rough and
nothing's going right for Avant right now. They have that one kill in the mid lane you talked about, but the Rift Herald that was stolen away. Chippies will be able to get some damage on this turret while the plates were still up, but he might pay for it with his life right now. No flash. Meanwhile, it's a 2v2 in the mid lane. We'll look at that in a minute because we've got the Hextech Ultimatum as the teleport being channeled here for Shock, and Gunkrab, was the one that came in. And Camille is going nowhere. Spook says, get over here.
And this just looks like team play League of Legends versus the individual. Shock tries to force himself on mid lane and gets solo killed. It's Chippy's trying to force down in the bottom side of the map, but Order to have the members here.
Jake
looking to get onto the jungler.
He had the Dark Binding. He has even more, and Swiffer just cleans the kill up on a Paddle Star. Oh, man. Shock may be on Avant, but Awe is all on Order side.
This is all going their way. This is cohesive play once again. They pick for comp, and the comp is certainly coming online. That's a blue buff denied from the mid laner of AV once more. Tally rotating around to the play, and 14 minutes into the game, the turret plates have fallen. Order have a 2,000 gold lead, and looking to snowball out this one strong.
14.5 minutes, and yeah, they absolutely are snowballing. Normally when we look at that kind of scoreline in Order versus Avant, we would have expected it to be the shoe on the other foot. Avant Gaming 3-0 in the regular split, remember, Bryce. But right now, Order are about to completely neutralize that scoreline when it counts.
These two series have looked like a playoff buff and a half. Like, this is a completely different Order we've seen in the last 2 days than we have seen in the OPL regular season.
Someone ate their wheat bix in the morning, for sure.
Like, the OPL was broken into, like, the 3 different parts, the 3 best, 7 games where you play everyone 3 times. The middle was an absolute disaster. Lose 6 games in a row. If they didn't beat Direwolves, that could have been a complete round robin they lost. And now they get to the Gauntlet, they barely scrape in. And they look like a clean team playing good League of Legends. This is all on the same page. They're floating pressure around. They're playing for each other. Jake is floating to side lane. All of these things are coming together, and they're just winning games because of it.
And here's how team experience and player experience really starts to shine through, because Avant are made up of newer players coming around from a lot of different teams. Order, remember, retained everybody but their bottom lane.
Yep.
That they lost to the Bombers. They had picked up Dream and Jake. And you're starting to see it come through here in a best of series. I think Avant was such a pleasant surprise to look so good in best of ones, but right now they haven't been able to pick it up in this series.
Yep. Certainly the case. Aladoric was just down in the bottom lane, floating behind Chippy's, looking for an execute onto Tally. You saw that trade.
Ooh, goodbye! Gun Crab! Spooks is going to take him down, and now it's onto the mid tower in order to just keep on swinging.
And we didn't see how that one started, but that's a flashless Ezreal. They find the pick. The execute is there, and that's mid turret gone to pieces as well. Rotating that play up towards the top side of the map. Shock maybe in a bit of trouble here if he doesn't back away. He's looking for the solo kill onto Swiffer.
Oh boy. Shock could be in some trouble here as Dream and Jake coming through. They can already hear the Scion speeding down bottom, but that's not what they're concerned about on the Avant side. Shock forced to flash. And that's going to be it.
And they're just first to the play. They rotate up. Aladoric is kind of shepherding the rest of his team. Without an 80 carry on the map, they don't have the numbers to fight, so a single pick turns into 2 turrets dead. Tally uses his ulti to defend the bottom side of the map. The CS lead for Chippies is getting mega out of hand in all honesty, but look at how much armor. It's a stopwatch still in the pocket of Tally. Diving the Scion at this stage of the game is incredibly difficult. Chippies is huge, but he just cannot leverage it right now, and all he needs is time to build. And AV, they're struggling to cling on to that time.
Yeah, the rest of Order are really just delivering where it's counting, and Tally, all he needs to do is hold the line right now and just keep this one safe, keep the tower safe from Chippies knocking it down, so the pressure just keeps on mounting on other lanes. And I mean, this is a 3,500 gold lead at 17 minutes, Bryce.
Approaching that 20-minute mark at 17 minutes into the game, and look, they have the team fight to boot. It's the Sivir, it's the Urgot, it's the Scion. They have everything they need to force something. Chippies may be able to force on a Tally here, though. That's a big chunk.
That's a lot of damage. Decimating Smash going to get denied as he just tosses him into the Hextech ultimatum, and the rest of Avant will help to try and clean this one up. Tally actually flashing over into Spooks. The teleport being invested here, and Tally tries to go on a run, but Aladoric takes him down with a death from below, and Swathe! That chunk damage out of the Paddle Star is huge.
They get the
not
pick.
enough.
The TP is burned from Shock to make it to the play as well, so they do find something. That is a kill for the Pyke. He gets the execution, but is it enough? 18 minutes, Baron up in 2, and they're looking for more, actually. Order's bottom lane is deployed down here, and Aladoric was fishing
around. Shock's happening to stop his back. He's in trouble.
Flashless.
He's got no flash. Dark Binding, it does miss, but they get the flip on anyways. Doesn't really matter. Looking for the kill. Secured up by Spooks. Aladoric and Chippies were looking for the fight. Didn't happen as the On the Hunt is popped from the Sivir Swathe. Way too low in this one. He didn't get the chance to go back, I don't think. The Ignite won't take him down, but the flash over the auto from Dream, and he's still hunting for this one. Boomerang Blade hooked in, and he does not give a damn.
And Order, they find the return kills on the back end. It ends up being a 1-for-2 on the weak side of the map. That's going to be a Dragon. That's going to be a complete flip up to Baron, and this gold lead is just growing steadily and steadily as this game goes on.
Yeah, Order, some speedy boys are going to get even more speed in their pockets now with the Dragon cleaned up. Not even 20 minutes on the clock, Bryce. It keeps on going. This is looking great for Order. Coming up aces right now.
I will say, I mentioned it before, Tally, he's now burnt the stopwatch. Sitting underneath his turret does become incrementally harder as Chippies now goes back. He finds himself with a Tiamat with a longsword.
There's a Righteous Glory, though, on the Scion, so it's not like he hasn't completed an item. It's just, he's just going to have a bit of a rough time when he's in those side lanes.
Yep, certainly isn't. And I mentioned it before, it's about time. Chippies needs time to whittle down the Scion and then eventually be able to dive him. You see Spooks is on the bottom side of the map. He's doing his golems, but he's also just here as a body to dissuade Chippies from doing anything. This means Tally will be able to push this wave out 30 seconds before Baron spawns, and honestly, I expect Tally to hit this wave and just walk. He has TP, but he's done the 5-man group thing all series, and he could just look to continue.
Ooh, good juke out from the bubble. Ghouls were coming up. Here's Jake and Dream looking for Shock. He channels the Maiden of the Mist and tries to turn for the kill. But Order just have his number.
And a very timely pick for Order. 5 seconds on Baron, the mid laner, 0-4, completely off the map right now. You can see the pings on the way straight to the pit. Tally is walking over there looking for the pick, but AV's not going to find it, and Order are just going to start this one up.
Yeah, with 3 members, they can go for it. Now there is a ward just outside the pit here. Actually, in fact, they were looking for a pick of them themselves. Alidoric sniffed a little bit too close, and Dream and the rest of Order, we're going to wait for just a second, finally get this one started. And they check over, Alidoric chunked down, Guncrab trying to harass them out of the pit.
Swathe is on the other side of the map. Tally's actually going to spot him out right now and look for a play. Does have the ulti available to buy some time, but Swiffer...
Oh dear!
Oy.
Guncrab, there is no escape when there's an Urgot on the other side of the rift, and now it is going to get smited down. Baron at 26.5, and Swathe is going to get taken out by Tally. What the heck is happening?
10% HP. Swift is looking for the play. That's a hook over the wall. Very nicely done by Alidoric.
And he will get shut down, so Alidoric takes him out of this one, but apart from that oopsie, I think Order are going to be pretty happy with what just happened.
Yep, they probably didn't want to lose a mid laner, but they certainly will find themselves access to 4 Baron buffs, and they certainly want to be using it. This is going to be the 5-man death ball. They're pushing out the waves, looking to defend onto the base.
That's a 4-man death ball for 20 seconds, but still.
Alidoric finds the pick, and that does just equal time for them to be able to hold on. AV have the double side lane comp. They have the Yorick, they have the Camille. One of them in a much better situation than the other, but once all members are on the same screen, Order look like the stronger team, and that's exactly what they're going to set up for right now.
Dream going to go ahead and push that wave out. A lot of shields on him for extra measure.
Yeah, he is the safest Sivir in the world.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a Morgana, he's got the spell
bad,
shield.
Though, when you throw the spell shield up and then your instinct kicks in and you still dodge the true shot and you're like, ah!
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Oh, like you waste the ability?
Yeah, because you're like, oh, I'm fine, I have the spell shield, and then you just like instinctively dodge away.
Yeah. It's actually one of those things where it's almost good practice, and it is bad practice to blow your spell shield for the sake of blowing it. Like bad Sivers, you see them in solo queue, like they will catch an Ezreal queue with a spell shield up intentionally. And it's like, what are you doing? Now your shield's on a 10-second cooldown and you can't hit anything. Just dodge it. Like you were going to if you weren't Sivir, you probably would have dodged that one anyway, but you get to hold on to the button.
Well, Dream is definitely not one of those bad solo queue Sivers. He has been such an impressive player overall. And
He's also had
what champion he's on.
Really good spell thief. Sorry, spell thief. I say spell shield management this game. He's dodged a bunch of the hooks. He's dodged a bunch of abilities, so has been super good to see. Order realistically just setting up the map right now. You can see AV. Alidoric is going to be spotted on a pink ward right now, but he's looking to pick on the side lane. This is really their avenue back into the game. Chippies is almost flame horizoning the Scion.
It doesn't seem to matter too much.
Yeah, it's like I've said it multiple times. He needs time. He needs the dive. He needs the kill. He needs to be able to make progress, but...
Has that ever happened? A team gets flame horizoned and are still the ones that are winning?
Yes.
When was that happen?
Have you watched Swiper play League of Legends?
Oh, yeah, okay. Well,
he currently is in very good
oversight,
form,
I suppose.
but even, like, I've seen many games where he's, like, you talked about it before, like, he's just playing the tank for the boys, Scion for the boys.
Yeah.
This is how you play Scion for the boys. He doesn't care about his CS numbers right now. He's just,
fair enough.
There's a wave and he's in a turret and he's just walking mid.
And the
nice
on the hunt.
ball will cut them off.
Gets split off, and Tally runs head first into it. However, that's still already half health tower, and Alidoric is not faring much better there. That's a big old siege. Spooks get shoved back. Seismic shift, and you got a shift out of there as well for Guncrab.
Yeah, and Order.
Shock body blocking.
They're hard forcing this one. Look at their waves. They do not care about the side lane. The Maiden of the Mist is pushing up top side, and Chippies did all the work on the bottom side of the map. She is. She's probably better, to be honest. Does less damage to turrets, but actually clears minions. This is going to be the inhib turret taken, though.
This might be inhib as well.
To concede this one, and I think you're right. That's it.
All right, they're going forward, looking for even more burst damage.
Guncrab just died.
He just gets deleted.
He got one hit by the paddle star, and Swiffer finds the kill with his flash.
That was dirty. Swiffer been using Ignite. I don't think he needed to.
It's almost like that was an irrelevant kill. Like, they had the inhib anyway, and the kill doesn't mean they can end the game. They don't push for more. They just take him out of this one. Swiffer burns both summoners, and they do look for the reset.
Dragon register that it's first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to flame the guy, but that looked like a minion kill. You know what I mean? It was between like the wave all over the place. There's bindings flying left and right.
Considering how much damage Order's doing at Swiffer especially, you know, it goes down as fast as a minion.
Oh, this is a nice play. I like this one. Swiffer.
Yeah, I might get some revenge here.
Oh, he's actually going to check it, I think. No, he's going for Golem. That's a face
check.
check.
Oh, he gets shoved in, taken out. 2-on-1.
Yep, taste of his own medicine. Takes down Gonkrab and AV get revenge. He falls down.
That was a fast burst on the Avant side, though, yeah.
Yep.
Still, only the 4th kill this game. They need to find a lot more of those to get back into this game. 24.5 minutes, and they're still down over 5,000 gold. The base is broken in the mid.
Yeah.
And Avant are on their last legs. If they lose this game, they're out of the Gauntlet without a single win.
Certainly the case. They've actually done a very good job this game of picking on Swiffer. If you look at the deaths, like Tally has 1, given that he's just been like copping it in the side lane this entire game, but Swiffer has been with the rest of the team, has been like deploying on the map, and he does have 3, like triple anyone else on the rest of the lineup, so is being punished a little bit in this game. Chippy's is now going to find access to the inhib turret. Probably just willing to ignore the Scion for the time being and try and clean this one up. Does have the Ravenous, so he's just going to continue doing this every opportunity he can. He's going to push in the wave, hit the turret, ignore Tally, and then just look to heal back up off the wave. But Order had some decisions on the other side of the map. That's going to be an inner turret, yeah.
I mean, I think if you're in a side lane race and you've got 4 members versus 1, I know who I think is going to come out ahead on that one. So Chippy's doing a great job, all he can to really push on that side lane and really keep Tally bullied, but Order just don't care.
Yep. They just play on the other side of the map, you know, 50 seconds on the Baron buff, 5,000 gold lead, and they already have control of the top side of the map. The full reset comes through. This is a 2-item Morgana. I was saying it earlier, when you look at the Targons, when you look at the coin, Morg is winning the game. Yes, he has access to more turret gold, but he's completed double items. It's just the Dust Blade for Aladoric, and that's a rich Morg. He's feeling very good right now.
What would a Duck Blade be?
It's like when you see a ward, it goes quack, and then you get to one-hit it, because that's the Dust Blade passive. You like that one?
I do actually. I think you should. I think you should design an item, Bryce.
A Duck Blade.
Yeah, the Duck Blade. It only works on wards, but it one-hits them and it makes a quack. I like that.
If a Duck Blade is my legacy, I am very, very upset. That is a sad state of being. But what
if you got to do the voice for it?
Enough about the Duck Blade, because the Baron has been started
It's already started up. It's going to be Order
here.
on it. Swiffer and Jake are guarding. Swathe is in the area. If he can
Bubble
get it for the steal. That's the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and it's a lot of trouble for Avant. Aladoric and Swathe are out of there. Swiffer with the body block means that there is no chance to contest the second Baron.
Yeah, that's just good setup. They have multiple members over the wall. They have the smite in the pit. Aladoric actually makes a very intelligent read there. He flashes to block out the damage so that Swathe wouldn't get one hit. He ease away, but unfortunately the damage is done. The Baron goes down, and all 5 members maintain control of that one.
You know, Order have done such a great job, I think, throughout the Gauntlet of actually making sure that they can secure Barons when they're ahead. Because it seems like it's common sense, right? Like, you don't want to just give something up to like a crazy steal, but they do a good job of securing the backside of the pit, especially from the blue side.
Yep.
And, you know, I had a jokey video come out this week about you know, getting Barons stolen away, because there were several weeks in the OPL where it happened like clockwork.
Ooh.
But they definitely know how to play it safe, and Avant, they're playing with reckless abandon to try and pick up a win here, but the teleport coming through. Chippy's isolated from the team, trying to rejoin on the hook shot. Gets back, but I don't think he's going anywhere. Tally on the front line, looking now for Aladoric. That's 2 quick kills. And it's teleports into the mid lane for Order.
That could be everything they needed. The spell shield from Dream gets him out of the flick, and that is just the picks they need. Another one in the hands of Spooks. He looks for the fear, but this could be the game.
They've already got Dream on the base right now. They didn't even need to take the fight because he's just working it down the way, and this is it. Order have the wins in their eyes. They're going for Chiefs tomorrow.
Straight up 1v2, he gets it.
And it's Swathe, the last man standing. That is absolutely going to be it. I don't care if he can walk away from that one, and he certainly cannot. The double kill comes in. Order with an absolute shutout. What a banger of a series from them. And they go 3-0.
And that was just an impressive series of League of Legends. You look at the 3-0, Order look like a completely different team coming into the Gauntlet. I said it before, but I'll say it again. They are all on the same page. They're playing cohesively. This is smart play. It isn't wacky. It isn't ragged. It isn't all over the place. They know exactly the style they're going for, and they're playing controlled. They're playing smart, and that was a 3-1 yesterday. Now it's a 3-0 today, like only tracking upwards as we head into the rest of the Gauntlet.
Clean League of Legends, but playmaking all across the board, and everybody knows their job. Like halfway through this split, we saw so many times that they were sending Tally to kind of be that lone playmaker to try and salvage things. This time the script is flipped, right? You have Tally holding the line, just holding the door up against anybody. Chippy's in this particular series, while the rest of the team is getting its just tower taking all over the place. And then he rejoins the team, and that 5-man unit just crush it.
But like, it's also it's multiple styles. Yeah, Tally played 100 CS down Scion League of Legends, and they completely stomped out that game, right? They had the advantage, and they snowballed it very quickly. He also played a 2-team fight Kale, where he had like a quadra kill on the back end of a triple kill, and he played like he played some very aggressive stuff. This is a team that is playing different things, both different teams. They have their style. If they get the Morgana, their bottom lane looks super secure in how they're playing. Like, I feel like this series was definitely a state of like confidence ramping up for Order and just trending down, unfortunately, for AV. You know what I mean? Like, game 1, firmly in control of the early game. Game 2 looks a little bit more even. Game 3, unfortunately, like, that looked like a little bit of a wash. Like, given the comps, given the champs that were selected and how those two team comps interacted. But this is Order just hardcore ramping up over the split, and they're just looking good.
They've lost 1 game in the Gauntlet so far. I can't wait for that Chiefs series. But the boys from Melbourne ordered up a triple cheeseburger. I wonder if they want some fries with that, though.
We don't believe in labels at Macca's, like dinner or breakfast. So, we're getting rid of them. Now you can enjoy dinner or breakfast whenever you want it. McDonald's all-day menu. Available 24/7.
Order just seemed to be getting better and better over the course of the day. What would happen if it went to 5 games? They might just blow them up during Champ Select.
Potentially. I mean, yeah, that was a Order that was in real good control of like what they needed to do to stall out that game. And I think that want to hit on what Bryce said at the end. This is a team that finally looks like they trust each other.
Yeah.
Like Tally falling down 100 CS, like not looking panicked in comms. Like the fact that once again Jake Spooks rotating into his lane, ensuring that he can push out against Chippies, and that Baron where they just held all 3 lanes and allowed Tally to get his second item. I think that's like a team that is on the same page. Like, you're not like, we're winning this side really quickly, we need to get, on top of the Camille split push or anything like that. They're not sending 5 members to Camille. It's like, no, push up mid lane. Eventually, Camille's going to have to recall. Use the full duration of the Baron to break the base, do what Baron is all about, and then hold control for another Baron buff. Like, don't try and end the game in 1 Baron buff. And I think that this is a team that, like, looks much more patient than what they did during the year. I just want to like cast everyone's mind back to like week 7 or 8, like Order start up a 11-minute air drake for no reason, like with an Aurelion Soul, and like get washed by this exact same Avant Gaming lineup in 11 minutes in what was an absolute stomp, right? And like this time around, like Order don't make any of those mistakes. They keep the game in the lanes. They show their individual skill. And it looks like a team that is playing much better League of Legends.
And credit to AV, though, in that 3rd game, again, trying something different, taking, like we said, swinging for the fences, going, well, if this is the last game, we're going to take basically like a get shit done comp and see if we can get shit done.
Absolutely. And I think that, you got to really credit that. Their level 1 was so smart because what they did is they got the flash and the teleport off the weak side player.
Yeah.
And they knew that Ezreal was playing 1v2 duty anyway, like because he's playing with a Pyke and Pyke just pisses off out of the lane and goes and does something else. So like, I think that they won that level 1 really, really hard. And then they should have been able to capitalize on it harder. Like Tally was 100 CS behind, but he should have been like 100 CS, like 3 deaths, like a turret down, like just based off how their level 1 went, because Talia, as far as junglers goes, clears big camps like really, really quickly and has good river control because of her speed. So I think that they had the perfect idea. I think they gave Aladoric comfort, and I really respect when coaches do that. I say it all the time when, stuff hits the fan, like go back to what made you a pro player in the first place, and that was roaming supports for Aladoric. So I think that, they ticked all the boxes for me. On the day, they couldn't get it done, but, I said the same thing about Mammoth yesterday. We play Mammoth or an Avant again tomorrow in current form. Maybe we keep winning, but I think that they have just as good a shot.
Absolutely. Well, we will see what happens tomorrow, but 2 people who are, I feel like they are not done with winning just yet. We got Spooks and Swiffer at the desk with Pyro.
Thank you very much, Nick Boy. Yeah, I brought you guys back on. Had so much fun the other week, so welcome back.
Lit.
You just 3-0 Avant Gaming, so, Order, since its inception, has never placed better than 4th in the Gauntlet. You guys have been with it since the beginning. How does it feel?
Oh, I mean, it feels great to finally make Rift Rivals. Oh, wait a second. Ooh. Yeah, no, it feels really, really good.
Straight out of the blocks with that one.
Yeah, I know. I was preparing it. But yeah, no, it feels pretty good.
Feel like a goddamn champion.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a few more series at least to get there, but I mean, I want to ask you about it because I had your dual lane on yesterday, and they just said, hey, there's no expectations on us. People didn't even expect us to even make Gauntlet halfway through the split. Do you feel any different now that you've just shut out Avant and made it to Chiefs tomorrow?
Oh, you know what? Actually, like that whole series, just playing Urgot, is like really therapeutic when my team's playing really well because I just run around like a circle, don't micro at all, and just kill every camp possible. So I feel really zen, So thanks, boys, for the carry. I feel good. That's all I had. What was the question?
I should have known better than bringing you guys on.
Sorry, I got a little bit off track.
I mean, how are you feeling playing up against Chiefs tomorrow? Let's just go with that.
How you feeling, Simo?
Feeling good. Feeling pretty good.
There you go.
They're a really good team. I don't know. I was just going to say everything that people usually say that's pretty standard, but they are like a really good team. Yeah, like they are a good team. I think they showed in the latter half of the split that they really don't have too much of a weakness that people can exploit. We'll just go in and try use the momentum that we've gathered to try it. Yeah, just win.
Fair enough.
I could add a little bit of a little point on that one.
Go ahead.
No, I think Chiefs and Bombers are both very good teams, obviously, and they've since the start of the split shown that they're like the most consistent performers on stage. So we are playing really well, but we're gonna have to play an extra level to like beat a team like Chiefs for sure.
Yeah. So where did this form come from? Because you guys even needed help to get into the playoffs right now, and you definitely surged a little at the end. But you're just racking up win after win after win. I mean, is it best ofs? Is it just finally some scrim performance coming out? Like, what's happened?
Not sure, to be honest. I don't know. I think like our support staff have been really good. Yeah. Aaron and Jake
and the cleaners.
Spawn.
They've kept it clean. It's been nice.
What?
Like the atmosphere's been nice 'cause it's nice and clean.
Oh, okay.
They're the support staff in theory.
It's very zen like the Urgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I got you.
Therapeutic gameplay. Like it actually, when you're calm.
Like,
and
why do you have to derail every question?
No, there's our support staff. I'm on the question. What was the question? I'm kind of lost now.
I don't know, but I think you answered it correctly. Why don't we go ahead and send it back to the couch to close it out?
I have no idea what's going on.
I hate them so much.
How did those guys just win 3 games of League of Legends? I don't understand. They can't spend 20 seconds focused on one question. My goodness. But they did. I mean, can I get the answer from you? Because clearly they're not talking. What has changed for Order over the course of this split? The start was strong-ish.
That was great. It was 5-2.
And then it did fall off a cliff.
Yep.
But then climbing back up, what has been that process? What changed?
Honestly, it's like all on the players. Like people will say the support staff, like Choo Choo's has done a great job this year, like really carrying the message through, and I think he's been a much more consistent coach. He's spoken about it a lot. The ability to be in the house has really helped him.
Yeah.
I think, obviously I don't want to toot my own horn, but having a general manager that can help out as well and act as that second coach gives us a very unique perspective. And we can allocate up like the time with the players really well. I think that the time that I've spent between, Ronan and Dream and Swiffer has really helped them attitude-wise. And I think that the time that kind of Aaron spent with the team refining the way we want to play the game has like done wonders. And then, we have a whole team behind us. The guys didn't touch on it, but, Performance by Design, Jared Murphy's company, he's the founder and managing director of kind of the team. And he like sends in, support staff, every single week to work with the guys through everything sports psychologists on site. So it was definitely a journey. It was like a building period for us, but we hit the panic button pretty hard in week 6 and then we're able to turn it around. So I'm stoked with how the guys responded to the pressure.
And so we say goodbye to AV for this split, but let's just touch on the success that they've had. I mean, we speak about it time and time again about the fact that they were a surprise. We didn't expect this coming out of them. It feels like they've just skipped the building split and they've just gone right into, oh no, we're just, part of the top 4 and now we're heading into next split with a bunch of confidence and a bunch of learnings.
Absolutely, and they were consistently the 3rd best team in the OPL throughout the year. And I think that this best of 5 today did not show that, like how well they've performed. And we had them in the same category as Direwolves and Legacy when the year began.
Totally.
So the fact that they performed that well, that they were the only team that played their style of League of Legends, that they had that cockiness, that swagger, that charm about them, the fact that Rusty leads the team, in my opinion, incredibly well. Obviously, Rusty, good friend. So I think that, when you have a look at everything that's happening on Avant Gaming right now, like there's very, very positive signs. And once again, like I can't stress this enough. As a fan of League of Legends, I wish they had played a little bit better today. This wasn't their best showing. And I'm just saying by their standards, not by my standards. And, they'll be kicking themselves about it. but they'll be back. Like, this is a team that certainly is a Gauntlet team for Split 2, and I think that they've got the makings of, like, the next generation of League of Legends players. You know, we're still holding on to the Spooks and the Swiffer from, like, 2013 and stuff like that. They've got superstars like Shock and Gunkrab that are 19-year-olds and, like, have 6-7 years left in League of Legends, hopefully, to be able to do the things that Spooks and Swiffer have been able to do. And I think that, you know, this is a team that is so incredibly exciting, not only, like, the way they play the game, but, like, everything else around it. I'm really pumped to keep tracking this team.
I feel like Spooks and Swiffer just proved from that interview that they're on the downhill slope.
Absolutely.
Like, they've lost the plot. The other thing with AV, you know, I said to you upstairs, will there be a conversation that this was always going to happen to AV, that they were going to get blown up because they're known as a team that, you know, can come in every week, bring something different, but is it sort of like, hey, we've put everything behind this one weird draft or this one change-up, but we don't have a second plan? I think they show that they do. They have a plan B and a plan C. This was not, this Gauntlet, even though they didn't play the best, did prove that they actually have multiple sleeves with multiple tricks up them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, right, is if it's hard to prepare for a team best of ones, like, they don't just prepare one draft a week. They prepare 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Because you have to take also what the other team is giving you and be able to adapt it. And I think we saw today, you know, they lost 3 in a row, so they didn't get to use 2 of their plans back to back. It wasn't like what Order was able to do yesterday.
Yeah.
This is a team that threw 3 very different game plans. 1 through bottom lane, 1 through mid lane, and 1 through top lane. And, you know, if they tweak that, if they play the early game a little bit better, in all of 3 of them, because they play early game League of Legends, you know, they can blow teams out. So trust me, I was part of the people trying to prepare for them. I didn't rock up to the best of 5 and say, this is so much easier than the best of 1s throughout the season. I was like, what the heck are they going to pick game 2? Like, is that Urgot? Like, are they ever going to take Urgot mid again? Is it going jungle? Is it going top? Where's Yorick going? Like, they picked it into Sion. Sion's a good matchup into Yorick because his ghouls give him help. Like, what are they doing with this? Then it goes mid lane all of a sudden. So I think that, you know, they were a little bit off today. Like, individually, they were getting outperformed. They got 1v1 killed a couple of times. But I think, like, if you give them, like, a little bit of a spark back, a little bit of a tweak, they're very good. And I also think that Order is playing very good League of Legends at the moment. So you can't take anything away from the boys in Melbourne. They're certainly as sharp as I have ever seen them coming into these games, and as cohesive as I have ever seen them as well.
Absolutely. Well, AV, you have made the OPL stronger this split, so thank you very much. Of course, there was an even bigger loser, and that was, of course, me today. I thought it would be 3-2. Let's get up the tips from today. Clearly, none of us got that right.
Yeah.
So we're all equally as awful. Myself, Jake, Pyra, Kramer, none of us figured this one out.
I think I'm the closest so far, because I've gone 3-1, 3-1, so I'm 1 game closer than what Pyra is if you take overall scoreline. So Order's 6-1 at the moment. I had them at 6-2. He had them now at 6-3. So I'm going to take the leaderboard for now.
I feel like there was a lot of mathematics involved there of you trying to justify a position. Let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule. There's not much of a one because there is only 2 teams playing, of course. It is Chiefs versus Order. Chiefs looking to take on a team with momentum who are looking to reverse sweep this thing. But Chiefs, obviously, we've seen what they're capable of. How do we feel like tomorrow's going to shake out?
Yeah, I mean, Chiefs are a different beast from anyone in the league right now. They're the only team with head-to-head versus Bombers. They finished second by an absolute mile, nearly stole the first place spot with a couple of weeks to go. Order has beaten them once so far this season, but I think it was in week 2. Apart from that, they haven't really got all that close to the Chiefs Esports Club, and they are just like the perennial grand finalists. Like, the Chiefs and grand finals is like an oceanic staple right now. They're a very good lineup. Order's going to have, you know, another level, another gear, whatever you want to call it. Use a crappy metaphor to throw it in there.
The boys are going to have to give it 110%.
110%. They got to, really dig in deep and, you know,
show what they got.
Have prior preparation to prevent a piss poor performance or something like that. But no, I'm really excited about tomorrow because I think they're both playing patient teamfight style. And we haven't really seen that versus the Chiefs. We've seen a lot of quick games get taken by off the Chiefs, but like patient, like slow teamfight style, you know, throw Jake verse up against Ayla, I think we're in for an absolute ripper.
Absolutely. If you love drama, stick it here with the OPL because we've got you tomorrow for the end of Gauntlet and, of course, the grand final for Split 1 next week. And if you love kills, then stick around because remember the Beat, who we are hosting, is doing a max kill challenge. So you got both things. You got drama, you got kills, you got Kramer. I'm doing my best, Jerry. We're out. We'll see you tomorrow.